This is the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And since everything is geeky, if you love it enough, you never know what you're going to get. This is your host, I am C, and spring hiatus is over. We are home. 2019 Flower City Comic-Con is done, and the planning for the 2020 show is already beginning, and the monkey business is forging ahead. But before we can all do that, let's talk about the amazing time we had at FC3 2019, the good, the bad, and the funny. After that, stick around for our upcoming events and our question of the week. And as always, if you like what we're doing, please leave reviews on Apple Podcasts and Google Play. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to the show. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Chris.
I really thought that we were going to go into a spaghetti western for a second.
Why is that?
The good, the bad, and the funny.
The good, the bad, and the good, the bad, and the Wookiee.
And the Wookiee. That's like one of the worst things. I hate good, bad, and the ugly.
Really?
Oh,
you don't like the spaghetti westerns?
I do not.
I'm going to make a quick comment, though. I can't hear you very well right now.
Well, it's because...
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, well, I've got headphone on one
You're doing
ear.
Deanna King.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
Batavia 10.
channeling my inner West Henrietta 10?
You're a Henrietta 10.
Henrietta 10.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so in the studio, local radio legend Billy DeTore.
Hi.
Billy, I haven't seen you in ages. How
I know.
are you?
I haven't seen you since
the show.
Since the show.
It's like a month ago now.
I didn't get to
almost.
see it that much even then. You were very busy.
Running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
You were
Locked in a panel room.
you were wrangling guests and trying to keep your boys from fighting. And
Yep, I do remember that. When I saw Billy, I was up on the platform with the VIPs, and there was a couple of guys who were actually doing a little squabble, and I got that broken down, got that all separated, and people in their respective corners.
that seemed to be more play, but you just didn't want the sort of
I didn't want it bleeding over.
horseplay,
Yeah, I didn't want. You don't do that in front of the VIP table. Not when
Yeah.
you have these lovely 3 Power Rangers who were with us. You know, Karen, Nakia, and Tracy were awesome. Also in the studio, my surly human sidekick.
I'm not surly.
No, you're not. You're
Are
awesome.
You meaning Anne?
No,
She's definitely not surly.
I'm Anne's sidekick. What are we kidding here? But Tanya Metris is in the house today. Hello, Tanya.
Hi.
How are you doing?
It's hard to sit with the headphone on one way and
Yeah,
try
well,
to
you know,
talk
we're
and things like that.
we're adapting. We're adapting, and we're doing a great job of it and making it look good at the same time. Now, also in the house today is our beloved producer. Hello, Miss Sherry.
Hello.
And of course, when Sherry's in town, we have a bouncing baby monk.
Hello.
There she is. Sherry, how you holding up over there?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Battered and bruised, but not broken.
Pretty much.
There we go. Now, are you ladies, are you doing roller derby stuff right now, or is that quiet season at the moment?
Okay, let's see. Next week, so the Saturday after this episode airs, Monk has her. Well, we're having a game. Monk's not playing, but she is NSOing, and I have news.
You have news.
I have news. I was just named the head official.
It happened.
It happened.
It happened.
It happened.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I am very happy for you because I know you've been working on that for a while
Yep.
now.
And
That's
then
cool.
in a couple of weeks,
Now, did you get a funny hat like a pope?
I need one.
You need a funny hat,
I do need one.
like a tall one,
Ooh, really?
the miter board
Yeah,
thing.
like really, really tall.
Yeah, and then you know what you do is you put something on the top of the hat, said hat, so like a little stuffed monkey or something.
It's got to be an otter.
Otter, the stuffed otter.
Yep.
That's a thing.
And then the week after that, we have a tournament, and I have been chosen. Completely unexpectedly, I've been chosen to officiate.
You have been chosen.
I have.
That's wonderful. How you doing there, baby girl?
Ooh. I'm doing good.
You're doing good, Monkers?
Yes.
Very nice. Also on the mic today, we have two guests on the mic and 2 guests in the studio. So there's the 4-pack of extra folks in the studio today. To my left, star of stage, screen, and... No, I can't say it. I can't say it.
NHL?
NHL? Sure. And ice rink.
Okay.
How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing really
Andy
well.
Merzke's in the house. Good to see you.
Yep.
You know what, Billy? I can't hear Andy.
his mic's up as
Probably
high as it can
because
go.
I'm just kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
there he is. Okay.
All
All right.
I
Just checking.
use sentences and then I can be heard.
He's warming himself up.
No, if I was warming myself up, there'd be like a brazier.
Oh,
You know.
jeez. He went
Brazier,
there.
not
Brazier.
Brazier.
It's all a matter of accent.
Not for that word. Not for that word.
I've been listening to an audiobook with a very clipped British accent, and it's brazier.
Brazier.
Brazier, but you said it
You
almost
said
like
brazier.
brazier.
Hey, that's the Western New Yorker.
Totally different.
There it is.
Now we were playing
Could warm
D&D
him up,
one
though.
day, and one of our gaming friends did reference the
flaming
brazier as a brazier.
Well,
and we lost it at the table.
A friend of mine told me
it's on fire.
A friend of mine told me that he had to go to Des Moines for an event.
Oh, instead of Des Moines.
Oh, Des Moines.
Yes,
Des Moines.
Des Moines, Iowa.
And now moving off to my right, our beloved, the spine of the industry, the woman who keeps us all together, the gravity of all of our orbits. It's basically the Anne. There's no better way to describe it.
The Anne.
The Anne.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Anne. Get right into that microphone, sweetie.
But we are a team effort.
Yes, we are. But I'll tell you what, I'm loving the Anne. Anyway, and how are you, dear Anne?
I'm good, and I have to say it, Tanya.
Yeah.
Moist.
and friction.
Moist doesn't bother me. It's the friction word that broke me during that game.
I just like to say it's about watch you like turn red because your ears like just turn red when you say the word.
When I say moist, friction.
Now we got Bleacher Creatures on the couch hanging out in the back of the studio. Becca May, one of our favorite interns, is in the house today. And Antonio, not the Banderas, Mr. Tony himself.
What are you talking about?
I do not know what I'm talking about. Tony, you had your oil changed, didn't you?
I did.
Or you donated?
I donated. I donated my oil, as in my blood.
Yes. So, they take what, 2, 3, 4 points?
They took like 3 gallons.
3 gallons.
Something normal.
Give or take.
Give or take.
Somebody give him a stack of crackers and a shot glass of orange juice. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. So anyway, as you can tell, dear listener, my beloved listener, I love you guys so much, but we have a full house today, so it's going to get a little nuts. It's a little bit more crowded in here than it usually is, and that's okay, but we're going to have some fun talking about a variety of things this week, and then we're going to bring this whole crew back next week and talk about a couple of other bigger things. But today's topic of conversation is none other than the Flower City Comic-Con 2019, which was coming at you back in April, and here we are now. We're mid-May. Right? And we're recovered, sort of.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I still twitch a little bit at night. It's kind of I'm still, that's the kind of tired you don't forget.
I slept through my alarm yesterday.
How'd that happen?
I thought it was 5:50, and
that's
then
amazing.
It was actually 6:30.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hunker in, and we're going to talk about the weekend that was, starting with our launch party on Friday night, all the way through to the closing end of things when we shut the doors on Sunday.
Share the microphone.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This has been The Break. The break is over with, and now we're moving on, because that's what we do. We take a break, and then we move on, much like the hiatus we just had for about a month or so of no podcasts. And we're back, and that's moving along. Now, April 12th, it was a Friday night. At the Firehouse Saloon, we had our launch party, and it was the Nerdlesque show that Sherry had brought to the table, and with Evie Delilah, who had been in studio a couple weeks back, and her band of merry women and a couple of guys. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting show. I don't think I've seen a full-on burlesque show in such a long time. And to have that nerdy, geeky kind of tinge to it was a lot of fun. They did a great job. I think they did. They had a lot of fun up there. You could tell that they were enjoying themselves. There was a lot of really strange things that occurred. Is that usual, where it's more than just kind of like the sultry, seductive, but there's like weird stuff going on?
That was my first burlesque show.
Was it your first burlesque show? I was under the impression you'd been to a couple of them in the past.
Nope, it was my first.
How did you meet Evie?
Actually, you had asked me to look into some out-of-the-box type ideas, and I sent you a list, and you said, okay, I picked this, and this, and Nerdlesque was one of the ones.
Okay.
So I started...
So Pikachu, I choose you.
Yeah, so I reached out, and the only one who actually got back to me, thankfully, was Evie.
That's
and
funny.
That's how we met, and... now I consider her a friend. She's
seriously.
a great person.
The way you two bonded, I thought you'd known each other for a while.
It feels like I've known her for a long time.
That was a thing. So a lot of people showed up for that. The room was packed. It was packed. So if you missed the show, wow, you missed a good show. It was a lot of fun.
I was at the airport.
You were at the airport shuttling people.
And I felt so bad.
Who came in on Friday night? Was it the three Rangers, all three, or two of the Rangers had already shown up?
Tracy was already here. It was... Michael Bean, Nakia, and Karen all came in at 9:30 or so.
Okay. So very cool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun meeting Michael. Mm-hmm. I had a good time with that.
Michael got an extended stay.
Yes, he did. Well, just about everybody got an extended stay because there was snow in Chicago.
One guest got out
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, there was snow in Chicago, and all of our connecting flights were in Chicago.
Saying, oh, you're stuck here because of the weather in Rochester. No, it wasn't us.
No.
For once, it wasn't Rochester. It was Chicago.
If you're flying
or Dallas.
Somebody was making commentary about wind earlier. I'm just saying. Wasn't our fault this time.
It wasn't our fault. It's not my fault. They said they fixed it.
So
Harrison Ford came at us the other day in regards to the
Nerd World News.
Yes.
And I'm your host, Harrison Ford.
Yes. They said they fixed it.
So I'm going to be doing. Oh, by the way, speaking of Nerd World News, I'm going to start wandering around a little bit. Like this past Monday, I was at Rhino's Collectibles.
Collectibles or comics?
This past Monday, Rhino's comic book shop, Rhino Collectibles, I think is the name of the show. He's moving soon. At the end of the summer, he's moving, right?
Where's he moving? I go there every once in a while. He just expanded the shop.
He just expanded. Now he's expanded again. Apparently, he didn't expand far enough.
Parking, bigger shop.
Where's he going off to, Ann, did he say?
It's just across Dewey. That's all I know. It's across.
Huh.
Okay, so he's not leaving the neighborhood.
I was just there last Saturday. He didn't mention it to me. I talk to Chet every once in a while.
Well, I was there just this past Monday doing Nerd World News, so that's kind of cool. And so we'll make sure, because I didn't even think to ask him. So we'll reach out and figure that out. But apparently he's not going to be leaving too far. He's not going to go out of the neighborhood.
Cool. All
so
right.
that's cool. Where was I? Thoughts are waving in the field at the moment.
The Nerdlesque show.
Nerdlesque
if
show.
you had missed it, and I said I was there.
I'll tell you what. When everybody was planning on being at the War Memorial Blue Cross Arena at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, I was like, "There's just not a chance." And I didn't get out of the Firehouse Saloon until about midnight, 12:30. I think it was when I finally left.
I think that's the time I was finally falling asleep, and then I was up at 3.
Yeah, I didn't. I was up at 5:30, and I had Batman John hanging out with me. He stayed with me that weekend, and getting that man. I was yelling his name, John. Hey, John, Gotham needs you. That's when he woke up. My hand to God, that's exactly what happened. Monkey shit. What's going on? Monkey shit.
I love you too.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh my God.
I meant to say monkey girl. I feel horrible right now.
Oh my God.
Wow, dude, you're flinging poo at another hostess.
I'm sorry. Can we cut that out?
No, I think at this point,
Billy, can you show me some mercy and cut that out, please? Because holy crap.
He's like, no.
I don't know where that came from. I'm going to hug Alana real quick.
He's not moving to cut whatsoever.
No, I don't want to stop the recording.
What'd he say?
He doesn't want to cut. He doesn't want to stop the recording.
He might forget to push record again.
Wow. I'm embarrassed.
I think you've killed Monk.
You broke her.
I don't know I don't even know how that thought popped into my head.
She's turning red.
Well,
Breathe.
do tend to do things.
Alana, breathe. All right, we've lost Monk. That was my fault entirely, too.
She's crying!
And it's not because you upset her. It's because it came out of nowhere.
It surprised me, too.
Wow.
Let's all call Monk names.
Apparently that's in fashion now. God.
Are you going to live, honey?
She has a new derby name now, apparently.
Did I ever tell you where the nickname Monk came from?
Please help me out with this, yes.
It's short for monkey butt.
Okay.
Oh,
so I'm in the right region at least.
My dad has a tendency to give people Lana, put your shirt down.
Okay.
Oh, so we're all getting undressed.
No, Billy, stop!
It's that kind of a show. Apparently we need to go take a little bit longer of a break next year.
Put it on.
Somebody get me a paper bag.
Wow, we have definitely been derailed at the station.
Oh, we so jumped the shark this episode.
Wait,
We so jumped the
the clothing removal goes with the burlesque theme?
He's telling stories.
So what happened next?
Oh my God.
So,
I can do this.
can you breathe?
Yes, I can breathe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know where that
Wow.
came from.
I'm not getting fresh from you, Billy.
Okay. As I was going to say before I just about died,
Before you got rudely interrupted by an idiot.
it was my first burlesque show at all, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Good.
The dancers were super nice, and it was amazing. I incredibly enjoyed it.
Did you have a particularly favorite character?
The one that I really wanted to see, it was because she knows my boyfriend's stepsister, was the girl who did Joker. And I love the music that she did with that.
Right. That was the drag king, actually. That was the girl who dressed up as a guy, if I remember correctly, who did the Joker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was trans.
Which I'd never heard of a drag king before, so that was kind of a new thing for me. That was kind of wild.
Yep.
So
I just have a question. Were there really Pokemon ball pasties?
Yes.
Yes, there were.
We missed them. Yeah, we did.
We missed the Pokemon ball pasties.
We had a running gag that we were going to order those for our dance benefit show to have.
Just wow.
Recital's still a week away.
I don't know how.
There's still time.
That might be better at the Kodak Theater rather than at Aquinas.
Hey, you know what? We're already off the reservation at this point, so feel free to talk about it a little bit more. You know?
I was giving Monk a chance to actually breathe and you to recoup.
She's fine.
I'm good.
Yeah, so I broke the Monk. I don't know where to go from here. Tell me about Saturday. Saturday was a thing. Saturday happened. Yeah. I'm going to recover now.
It started at 5 o'clock for us.
Oh, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Not a real thing in real
It was
time.
like 5:05.
Yeah, we were like 5 minutes late.
And then we couldn't get into the building.
Why not?
Because there was no security back by the door we were told to go into. And it's Michelle, right?
Right.
Yes.
Michelle was there with us, and she's like, well, I'll go around to the loading dock to see whatever. And that door was actually the one unlocked. But she came all the way back around to the back security door to let us in. Mm-hmm. So
it was a struggle getting started in the morning.
It was more
In
than a
more
struggle
ways
just
than
for time.
Yeah, apparently. So how did we do this year?
We did fabulous.
I think we did fantastic. I mean, you know, we there was not a corner of the building we did not use.
Yeah.
You know, were there? I mean, I was a little bummed that they didn't open the two big food courts.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that was going to happen.
So was I.
Okay, so I was not wrong. There was an actual plan to do that, but then they didn't they couldn't staff it.
Correct. They couldn't. They didn't have enough staff to staff it, and with the number of people in the building, it didn't call in for more people. If we had 10,000 people, we could have had more food courts open. But
if we'd had a choice, I would have chosen to not open the one they did actually open.
It was in the main area.
Yeah, I suppose that helped, but I don't know. It was, you know, anyway. Sherry, bail me out of this because now I can't think straight.
Okay. Well, no, I was just going to say that what was most impressive to me is all the areas that we not just touched, but we hit hard. If there was something to geek out about,
we hit it.
We had it.
Yeah, we had the panels, we had the gaming. You did a great job in that. The play and win thing worked really well.
Thank you. I really enjoyed that. The game room just was so much fun this year.
I know you guys had some concerns early on because you thought you were kind of like out of the way, but it did. It
took some extra signs, but once I put up the extra signs, we got people, and it was good, and people were happy.
Good. Millennium. I was in Millennium later that week after the show, and one of the guys who came to run the Millennium stand was like, you know, we're seeing new faces, people who met us at the convention. I'm like, that's what I wanted to hear. That's awesome. That was the payoff.
And I loved being able to showcase game designers and new games, and I just loved being able to do that.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
The vendor floor was always hopping.
Always.
Yeah, well, they needed to be moving because it was cold.
The photo booth was
an amazing touch.
Yes.
How do we get the photo booth?
My sister works for Life Touch, who is owned by Shutterfly.
Got it.
And they will be at all of our events going forward as well.
That's awesome.
And it's free.
Now, do they do, other than the film strips, do they do like actual portraits, or is it always just going to be the 4?
We have a choice.
Strips.
We can rearrange them how we want. We can do a box, we can do squares, we can do the strips. However, we want to do it with the paper we have.
Okay. I was thinking of just the one, like an 8x10 off the top, just of that one particular thing. Is that a possibility in the future?
5x7s and 8x10s are a possibility.
Good deal. Now, is that something they can, I don't know if you know this, but is this something they would be able to change on the fly?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
If we tell them ahead of time what to bring and which printers to bring.
Good deal. Okay.
Nice.
Because I love the film strips, but there's a couple of the shots on those strips that I would have loved the bigger picture.
Yeah, and
they're hard to see.
The film strips are low resolution.
Yeah.
And they do have bigger cameras that do high resolution and can do 16 by 20s or even bigger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good to know going forward. and it's a great resource to have. And they were very reasonable. They didn't charge us all that much to begin with, I don't think. So that was very economical for us as well. And the entertainment value was amazing. The vendor floor was great. I thought it was very clean, nicely lined up. Everybody was easy to organize and square away. Going forward, if we continue to use Blue Cross Arena, if we plan it correctly, we can have the ice melted next time, right?
It has to be after playoffs.
After playoffs, we can get the ice melt. Because I know a lot of people after the fact were complaining about, cold feet. Because a lot of folks a lot of vendors.
The vendors
the
who
people who were on the floor
had to be there all the
throughout the
time.
weekend.
Well, some of them were also wearing sandals.
Sandals and flip-flops.
Yeah, so they kind of asked for it. But I'm wondering if there's like a layer of protection that we can kind of give them in the future.
It was called the wood floor. They weren't directly on the ice.
Yeah, but there was still a layer of ice underneath it.
But I think they knew that coming in that day.
Well, a lot of people, if they knew it, they didn't plan accordingly. But, I'm just trying to protect people from their own lack of planning.
Imagine how nice it would have been in July, though.
Oh, I tell you. Seriously. That would have been a thing.
That was my only problem, was that in the game area and in certain areas, it was so warm that I was like going to the vendor floor just to cool down.
The panel rooms were
But I kept
brutal.
forgetting to grab my coat before going to the vendor floor.
I was freezing my butt off in the area where I was.
You were cosplay repair, weren't you?
Yeah. It was freezing back there. I was like, why is it
Was
so
there an open
cold?
door somewhere back there?
It might have been.
No, there wasn't.
No, I think it was just the channel off the rink.
Yeah.
That was basically it.
What I also found really interesting is I got to see the moving the hockey bags, and oh my goodness, those are huge.
Yeah, they carry a lot of gear.
I was not expecting that.
Pads, sticks, AK-47s,
big, but I wasn't
grenades,
expecting them
No, that
to
was
be
Blades for Life.
big.
RPGs.
What did you think of what was the feel that you got from the cosplayers about the cosplay changing areas?
Not a lot of them used them, but they were happy they were there.
Yeah.
And the people that did use the repair station were super ecstatic it was there. This first day it was hard to find because nobody moved the sign.
Whoops.
So before the next day on Sunday, I moved the sign and people had an easier time finding me, which was nice.
Good. I don't think any other local conventions do that.
No, not that I know.
So we're going to pat ourselves on the shoulder for that one right now because that was a brilliant idea. I don't remember who came up with it exactly, but the repair station was definitely a thing.
Zach.
Opsitnik.
Yes.
Old Zach. We haven't had, Zach needs to be back in the studio sometime soon. Zach and Rob. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
That was the thing. Thank you for mentioning that or whatever. That was the second episode that I wanted to do. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead and have those two back in.
No, you can't do it if I'm not here.
Because that's Sherry's favorite movie.
That's my all-time favorite movie.
I haven't seen it. Okay, but you know what? We have to schedule that and get those two back in.
Yes.
Because it changes the whole vibe in here at times.
Yes, because you never know what pun Rob's going to come up with.
And so...
Yeah, I miss those guys. We got to get back in the studio.
Zach and Rob, if you're listening, or Zach's dad, I know you're listening.
Actually, Zach's dad doesn't listen unless Zach is on.
Damn it!
So, panels. Andy.
Yeah.
We did good this year, I think. I mean, we didn't have as prolific of a programming schedule as we have in the past, but we made it work pretty well.
I think that the schedule went really well for panel rooms. The idea of if somebody wants to do a panel, let's do that.
Yeah.
I think it was fantastic because
it took a lot of it off our shoulders.
Not only did it take a lot of it off our shoulders, but you had people who wanted to do something, and it gave them a chance to be part of the con at a different level.
Exactly.
Because at the beginning, I know there was a lot of kids who, and I do mean kids, late teens, early 20s, who were coming into this, and they were looking at me going, what do I do? How do I do this? And, it's just, hey, you're going to be relaxed. You're going to be good. You're going to do what you need to. Somebody will be around. If something falls apart, somebody will be around to help you. But at the same time, there were older, more established guests who, when I was talking to them beforehand, they're like, I really don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, okay, this is where we're going to start, and if you need help, I can help push
Just give me a
you in
panicked glance, and we'll get you there.
Yeah. For example, when we were talking to Sean Dunwoody, it went from him giving a presentation about what he was doing to a true discussion back and forth between the people who were in the room and him, to the point where he's like, excuse me for a second, guys, I need to grab a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And he just pulled a pad out of his back pocket. And everything that people were saying, he was taking down notes. And
That's phenomenal.
He said outright, just so you people know, I'm stealing this from all of you. Okay? But to be able to have that happen.
Yeah.
And also the panel with using Rochester as a background for RPGs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic.
That was Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch was amazing because he was talking about a lot of things that people didn't know about or resources. And when he brought up the fact that Eastman Kodak knew about the Manhattan Project a year and a half before the rest of, well, basically the world, and everybody was like, how did they know? And he told the whole backstory of it.
I remember hearing that story
you
too.
just had people fascinated by it, and you had a lot of, for lack of better terms, there was a lot of good, positive interaction. Definitely no question too strange, no question too bad, no question too good.
Yeah.
But you also...
Well, the Power Rangers panel, I mean, once the girls got into their rhythm, it was a great panel. But you have your fanboys in there that just didn't know how to articulate what they wanted to think. And there was a couple of guys who tried to take over the the conversation. That was a little frustrating, but that's what we're here for. That's what we do. That's our job, is to orchestrate that and kind of move things along. So there were things that happened. Billy,
Yes.
you had the opportunity to be the casual observer. What did you think?
I loved that. Oh,
No, dear Lord!
I got my earphones too close to the microphone.
Oh no!
Let me turn it down. I loved it. I thought you guys did a great job of organizing what I called the outside ring and the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
We might steal those.
I like that idea.
Outside
I like
ring, inner sanctum.
Yeah, let's steal
And-
those.
Tanya's writing it down right now.
There were vendors all over the place, which I love looking at all the vendor stuff I wound up walking out with. I wound up spending way too much money that day.
See, I like hearing stuff like that, though. 'Cause that makes me happy.
And at one point, I decided to rest, and so I went up into the stands, and I sat down and I read a comic book, and I set my bag down, and then I left and walked away, and I got back to the outer ring, and I'm like, crap. Where's my stuff? Then I had to remember where I sat, where I was sitting, and that 8,000-seat arena. Where was I? All right, and it took me a little bit, but I eventually found my stuff.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that's a happy ending to that story.
Monkey eggs hidden in the arena, and how many were found?
Three.
So there's 3 eggs still there?
3 eggs still in the arena somewhere.
So if you're in
if
Rochester,
I find one,
I'll be in the building on the 29th, so I'll go look.
yeah, poke around. Do we remember where they got
placed?
placed?
Where Scarlett put them.
Oh, Scarlett hid them?
No, Laura hid them.
Yeah.
Well, Laura's short, too, so don't expect to reach too high up to find one.
It was our own FC3 Easter eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm trying to complete a run of comic books and I found a couple of them at the vendors you had there.
Excellent.
It helped me get a couple more closer to completing my run of Superman Family from the 70s.
Nice.
And bought a shirt from Dottie's Ugly Shirts.
Perfect.
I saw that you had that on the
I
other
wore
night.
it last night, yeah.
My mom actually ordered one from Dottie. She's having one made for her. I thought that was amazing.
And you have one.
I have one, yes.
And I found you had a vendor who sold like stamps from around the world.
Right.
Many nerdy.
I did hear
and
about that.
I found a Plastic Man stamp for Susan. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
Does she have it already?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like 2 Stamp Girls. They had an interesting booth. They had a really neat booth.
So I did that, and I talked to people, and I looked at stuff, and I enjoyed it. I thought you guys really did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Did you try the VR?
No, I saw it, and I didn't. It had some people, and I just decided to.
I saw there was
to not
pretty
look at it.
good
Yeah.
traffic there in
People
Veracity.
were freaking out trying to walk that board, the plank or something.
Yeah.
That was. I have a student that was there, and I talked to him a couple days later, and I said, "What'd you think?" He goes, "I can't wait." He's like, "That VR thing was really, really cool." And I'm like,
I have a friend of mine who tried it, and she was so enamored with it that she took her girls to the actual place over in by RIT, and but a few days later, they're like, "We got to try it together." I'm like, "Okay." So
yeah, Sean was trying to get me to do it, and I'm like,
I did not do it myself.
I'm scared of heights, so I know I'd be one that would be freaking out, knowing full well that I'm actually just standing on the floor, but still.
For me, I wanted to try stuff, but when I was ready to try something, I didn't have the opportunity. But when I had the opportunity, I was not thinking about it. That's like the story of my life. Tony, jump in there. Tell me what you have to say.
So I actually talked to the guys. They said it was much more of a matter over mind type of situation.
Right, not mind over matter?
Yeah, not mind over matter. It's matter over mind.
I got it. I'm not sure exactly if I understand it, but that's okay. We'll roll with that.
The idea being like your mind is tricking yourself into thinking that everything around you is real when it's not. So you have to recognize that it's not real and view the actual physical surroundings around you as being what's real, as opposed to what you see is not real, but everything else is.
When I finally get a chance to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Marlon spent about 20 minutes each just playing around with it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
How'd Marlon do?
He enjoyed himself.
I didn't get a chance to really chat with him much this year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had him like sitting at a table and doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's okay. He had fun. He at one point we were out drinking the night before, so he was passed out in a corner, just kind of sleeping in the volunteer room because he was just pretty tired.
Yeah, I saw the two of them together a lot.
Okay, so next year, can we not break Marlon before the show then?
Bad
no
promises.
Bad Tony.
The flip side to that, though, is I want to give Tony and Marlon a lot of credit because them being available and around by the panel rooms gave me a chance to actually see part of a con.
Oh, good.
For the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, no,
I had a chance to see other stuff, and I also had a chance to interact with, people who were there, find out how they felt about things, get some feedback in real time.
On that note, can I give a shout out?
Go shout out.
I would like to give a shout out to James and Jason.
Oh, yeah, James Irish and Jason Gwynn.
Yeah, oh
Absolutely.
my God, they were awesome. They
did
awesome
fantastic
as
jobs
volunteers.
back there.
I couldn't have been happier. They were just amazing guys.
Jason's enthusiasm is
I like
amazing.
Jason very much.
It's very infectious, and James's attention and just his desire to be helpful and his want to be involved.
Yes,
those are the kind of guys I love having on board.
They were both awesome to work with.
Yeah, they did a great job. That's a good shout out. I'll take that one.
Definitely shouting out thanks to all of our volunteers.
Absolutely.
And Sean and Andrew, who were the security for the weapons pickup and things like that.
Yeah, and your buddy Jen Bozette was hands down badass. I want to get her more involved next year.
Yeah, one of the great things is I told her what was good. I gave her a slight breakdown of what happens for move in and move out, and she's like, okay, I do that every day at work. So
she took charge of kind of the move in, move out.
Which is fantastic because she works in that type of setting in her everyday life.
Gotcha.
So
it was just old home week for her.
Yeah, she looked at me, and we both were like, oh, there's 2 pallet jacks. We're done. Cool.
And thank you to the BCA, whoever was driving the forklift truck that morning of Saturday to get all the pallets out to the vendor spaces. Yay, thank you.
And Sunday, when we were breaking down, they were bringing people off the, just put them on pallets and we'll bring them off the floor for you. I know they had to get the ice back up, but they still did a wonderful job of helping out with that.
I want to thank, I can't remember names because my name recall is awful, but thank you to the 2 volunteers who were constantly switching out with me.
I know Shannon was one of them that was probably came out there. She was one of our cosplayers.
And there was another. She was almost always wearing a cowboy hat. What's her name?
Devin.
Yes. Thank you to both of them. They kept me sane sometimes when I needed human interaction.
Yeah.
So as you guys did all the work, what absolutely stays next year, and what would you like to change?
Stage area.
Staging.
The stage area, having an actual stage area to run shows on will be definitely following through, because that was a great area for not only the cosplay contest, but we were able to bring in more programming that we would not have been able to have without having an actual stage area.
Right. I want to continue on with the cosplay changing and repair stations. Like we patted ourselves on the back earlier with that one because not many do that. But I also, not just because of the notoriety of it, but because it is a handy thing. When somebody needs it, they've put all their time and their effort into this cosplay. They can't wait to unveil it, and then something goes horribly wrong, and we're right there to help them take care of it so they don't lose a beat. So that's a valuable thing.
We're keeping the quiet room.
We're keeping the quiet room. That's been a regular thing ever since the first show, making sure that people have a place to retreat to.
Can I say, it seemed to me that there was more cosplayers this year than there were in previous
I'm noticing
years.
the numbers starting to increase.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about.
Were amazing.
And they were fantastic.
There were some great ones.
Yeah, definitely some really good ones.
Angie's daughter, when she played...
She did Kita. She did Kita from... yeah.
Are you fangirling over there?
Oh,
she was fangirling Kita.
Yes. Like, I didn't even realize she was Angie's daughter. So when I first saw her, so I'm like, can I take your picture? Because I was so
She got the biggest
happy.
kick out of it when she heard about that. Poor Ange was not feeling well that week, so she actually went home early both days.
She did some time with me at the cosplay repair station.
Right.
Thank you to Ange.
There you go. I think the vendor floor, we should probably get rid of that. I think that's a little old. Little old. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Billy, you're giving Billy a heart attack over there.
Don't do that.
No, I know you wouldn't do that.
I know we
The
wouldn't do
authors.
that. The authors. You had that one author, the older woman.
Jan Courtney.
Thank you, Jan Courtney. She very ecstatic.
Oh God, she not only did she love it, she actually sent me an email, which I told you about, that she's going to do a write-up for a local writers thing to tell people what a fantastic time she had, how great she was treated, and that everybody should get in next year as quickly as possible.
There we go.
Get your table early.
The Girl Scout classes were a big hit.
Yeah, that's fun. I like to see how excited they were.
Yeah, the only problem with that was the Girl Scouts got way too into the panels and didn't want to leave the panel rooms to actually go finish taking the classes.
Is that a good problem to have?
So I now have to do a class for 12 girls or 12 young ladies at a different time in a different place because they were too into a panel to leave.
That's amazing. That's a good problem to have, though. You know, that they're so invested in one thing. So we'll just make sure we schedule it out better for next year so that they're not conflicting too much on each other. But you never know what they're going to get anyway.
Did anybody see the Zoomobile?
I heard about the Zoomobile, but I actually did not get a chance to go to see it.
You got to pet a spider.
Which is why I stayed well away.
Like I said, I was really busy.
I was on an entirely different floor, sorry.
They had one tarantula the size of my hand inside of a box.
Did I mention I was busy? I was doing something.
In other words, please stop talking about
I don't remember
the
what it
spider.
was. Andy, do you remember what it was? I was busy, though. I was doing something.
You were staying away from spiders.
That's it.
No,
that was the job. There we go.
My thing was Zoomobile, there might be a snake.
There were snakes.
None for me, thanks. I'll be driving later.
Hence, Andy was busy too. I think I came through there.
Now, if there was a
very
penguin,
quickly.
if they'd brought a penguin, I would have gotten through the snakes and the spiders to go see the penguin.
No penguin.
If
There
they
was an
brought
an
armadillo.
otter.
An otter or a penguin.
If
Yeah,
they
there was an
had one of the
armadillo
red pandas.
and
Armadillos are cool.
yeah.
Did
like
they
red
did they
pandas.
have an owl? Because I think I might have seen an owl, or that might have been at my school.
They
Because they do that. They
Doesn't even know.
they did not have an owl. They had a giant bird, but I don't remember if it was a falcon or it was a beautiful bird, and the bird was trying to.
How big was it?
I mean, it was very, very big. Its favorite thing to do, the minute they took it out of its cage, they had to run with it in order not to have it on the floor. And, they were just so good with them. They really were. They were a great job. What about any other stuff on the stage? Did anybody see anything on Saturday or Sunday that they absolutely loved, minus Dan dancing?
From what I understand, was it during the cosplay lip sync battle, it turned into a dance party?
Yes.
And I believe
Your son,
my son, was one of the ones
the
to lead it.
wallflower, the terminally shy,
The one that
and
hides in
reserved,
his room.
the one who hides in
I
his
love
room
him.
when two people come over to the house. Tyler James was the person who got out there during
And
the
he
lip sync
had a
battle
blast.
and got a dance party started.
And he was trying to get Dan to dance, and Dan
He
was
did.
like,
Dan got up. I saw the
But
video. I
not
didn't see it in
when
person.
Tyler asked him, when somebody else asked him.
Well, it was but
Yeah.
our own dear fearless leader got up
There
and
is video of
bopped
that.
around a little bit, and there was video.
I'm so glad there's video of
There
that.
is video of that
I was
somewhere.
amazed.
Yeah.
I was amazed to hear about that. I had to see the video later. I didn't see it myself in person.
No, because I think we were like watching. They're like, I got a text message saying your son, blah 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 blah, and therefore I had to come out of the office, come around to see what was happening over there.
Things we don't want to do anymore. Is there anything that right off the top we
Get
don't
up
want
at 5 o'clock in the morning
Well, there's that.
to set up garbage cans and tablecloths.
Yes, please.
I don't wanna
next
do that.
time, look at the Amherst schedule beforehand.
No, we didn't have any say over that.
We had no say.
We had no- we had very little
Anne
opportunity
was
to-
amazing getting us in there,
Yeah.
and absolutely, Anne just amazing. Thank you.
I don't know though. I don't think there's anything I really want to cut free at this point. And-
Better food.
Yeah, better food.
Well, it is food better than what we had.
No, not by much.
Still miss the chicken fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they didn't have any.
So we want to address
I miss
food.
food.
We want to address cold floor. We want to address things like that. So we're working on stuff like
We're
that.
always evolving. So
It was possible you guys arranged so people could come and go with the bracelets and
Yeah,
stuff.
we did.
So,
Because Blue Cross Arena is very adamant about no reentry, but we managed to kind of pry that open a little bit.
and that
So to
worked, so
speak.
you could
Yeah.
go over to the dinosaur or to a
Right.
food truck or whatever. was around.
we have talked about everything else.
Except,
Our guests,
well, go ahead,
Well, we
VIP
talked a
liaison.
ton
Well,
about it
just-
beforehand.
but just a little
We
bit
talked-
here and a little bit
They were
there.
phenomenal. Everybody who came was phenomenal. The girls were amazing. And I tell you what, Karen, this was the second time she has come to an FC3. She was at the first one in 16. And just an absolute sweetheart. And Nakia was just such a dear. And Tracy turned out to be the powerhouse of the three of them. She was gracious and kind, but so professional. And so just she knew exactly what was going on at all times around her. She had everything kind of on point. It was very
What's that
interesting
look
to
for?
see. Well, yeah, what was that look for, Ann?
She's absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah.
Professional, absolutely.
Not?
Well, we had a lot of fun on Friday night.
Okay. All right. See, but when she was in the
yeah.
mode, she was in zone. That was a thing.
Oh,
What
and
do you
she
mean
was
by that?
dressed
She
to
wa-
the nines.
What do you mean she was on point about
The way,
like,
the way
knew
she
what
was working the
doing?
crowd,
Okay.
Yeah.
the way she was working the line, she did not wait for people to come to her like a lot of guests typically
She
do.
came around the table.
She came around. She was shaking hands. I watched one time while she was talking to one person. She was looking at this one guy right in the eye and just chatting with him and having a very meaningful conversation. But she knew exactly what was going on to her right at all times. Her peripheral vision was locked in on these two other guys because at one point I watched this happen. I can only aspire to be this organized, right? She put her hand on this guy's forearm, paused him, and then looked immediately to her right, had a point to the conversation these two were having, and said, "I can't wait to go a little further. Just give me a second, and I want to keep this conversation going with you two because I hear what you're saying." And then both of them just stopped dead in their tracks and looked at her
cool.
like, "Wow,"
That is cool.
And then she went right back. She apologized for breaking away. She appreciated the guy's patience. She finished her conversation with him, hugged the guy, and then went right back to those other two. I mean, her crowd control ability, it was just such top.
hugged?
It was top notch.
She hugged.
She's a hugger,
He really was.
That's brave. That's brave at conventions.
especially with these guys.
No, I'm just saying at conventions.
Yeah,
That's
conventions
brave.
where
It
there are
wasn't Ray,
swords.
right?
Yeah,
No, she hugged Ray.
She hugged Ray.
I'm just saying.
She bonded with Ray's whole family.
There's a lot of guests who won't even shake hands with people because they go home sick for weeks
Right.
after
Right,
a
right, right,
convention.
right.
Oh, no, her and
Con
her
crud
husband.
is a thing.
Yeah, her and her husband were just amazing to work with.
Uh-huh.
Every single one of our guests this year just
Javier
made it.
was his name, or Xavier? Javier.
Every
Great
one
guy.
of our guests this year was just
Uh-huh.
top notch. I would have them again back in a heartbeat.
Oh,
For Just how
absolutely.
they treated us.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I
Mike.
wish I'd actually gotten to meet people. I really didn't
And
get
our
to
guests,
this
they
year.
treated every single one of our guests as if they were a human being,
Mm-hmm.
and they cared what they were talking about when they were with them.
We've been very lucky at who we pick to be on VIP row. We've had these great people, these great faces, these great names, but all of them have traditionally been very kind and giving of their time and appreciative of the attention. So we've been very lucky, and I pray that we continue to have that streak of luck. That would be great. Even
And
though
it was great having an extra day with Karen and Nakia.
yeah.
I got to go to a movie with them on Monday.
That was fun, and we had everybody had dinner on Monday night, so that was a thing. And then Tuesday I collapsed. I was done Tuesday. I was done. I was just stick a fork in me.
All I can say is thank God for spring break for me.
Yeah, honestly.
I had class on that Monday.
Oh, no.
I had to work.
One of the things I enjoyed just in listening to Michael Bean, every one of the shots that he was autographing, he knew what was going on with that shot and could get into an in-depth discussion
about that moment.
He was talking to somebody who was mentioning when, I think it was Paul Reiser or whatever, gets shot.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Yeah, when he was talking when you were talking about Ian and how he likes it off screen, he's like, yeah, but he still should have gotten it on screen. And then for me, because he lived in Nebraska at one point and in Alabama, I'm like, okay, so are you a Huskers fan or are you a Crimson Tide fan? And we had that debate. And
nice.
He could go off the movies and talk about growing up and explain, different things and remember who coaches were at one time or another, and then just talk about the fact that he's like, when I was in Omaha, all we did was hang out and play in the gutters, but played football all the time, played baseball all the time, and it was a nice look back at how he grew up and how he became him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
And I love it when they share moments like that.
Yeah,
I do. I remember Gigi Edgley had a few conversations like that back in the 16 show, and who did I have the? Oh God, it was Uncle Eric Avari last year at the 18 show. We definitely had a lot of fun, a lot of little just chats about who we are and what we do. What are you giggling about over there?
Oh, just what my parents did with Eric Avari.
Yes.
What did they do?
What did they do, George?
You're the one that brought
it
it
a
up.
Conversation for off?
With Eric Avari? No, it wasn't with Eric Avari.
No?
No.
All right. Anyway, so vendor floor, more guests, more staging, cosplay love.
Constantly evolving,
adapting, moving forward. We hear you, Mr. Listener, Miss Listener. We hear you guys. So whenever you bring something to us, there's a fairly good chance we're going to try to do what we can to incorporate it. So keep it coming. Keep the comments coming. Keep letting us know what you think about the show so that we can continue to move it forward. And with that being said, we will see you all again in 2020. And we're going to do it again. The 5th show, we're going to see clearly in 2020. We're going to see clearly.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
I think at this point it's time for a break.
It's time for a break. And when we come back, we're going to just have a couple pieces of wrap-up business, and we'll move on.
I'm just...
Yeah, I get it.
That's all.
All right, we have a thing we want to announce. We're going to start it right off the bat. Again, with much Anne love, we're proud to announce that we have a new partnership. We have made friends with the 585 Rocking Burger Bar at 250 Pixley Road. We're going to be partnering with them to be doing events. It'll be every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, starting in
Get her on that microphone.
Every Tuesday, starting in the middle of June.
Yep, so about a month away from where we're recording now. And one of the first big events that we're going to be doing will be July 27th. It's a Saturday, and the Mighty Monkey Corporation Cosplay Karaoke Night, and that'll be running from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And then stick around for live music from Wicked. They're out of Utica.
Out of Utica.
Yes. And it's a hair band, and we got into debate because they have different sources of information, but they are a 70s, 80s hair band. They do covers, and do they do any originals? Do we know that?
Yes, they have an album.
They have an album of originals. So they will be then picking up the steam after the karaoke winds down. So from 6 till a while, we're going to be at the 585 Burger Bar on July 27th, and we're going to be doing a lot of things there. They have a really cool event space. So you will be seeing board game nights, and you'll be seeing trivia nights, and you'll be seeing contests, and you'll be seeing classes and dance competitions and brain surgery and car repairs.
Let's not get overwhelmed
and
here.
Cooking. What? No?
No, but
and cooking
there's
soufflés.
more information about July 27th.
Tell me more information about July 27th, Tanya.
Well, there will be a $5 cover charge. We will be having a 50-50 raffle.
Okay.
And there will be raffle baskets for people to have a chance to win.
That sounds like fun.
And even a dessert table to tempt even the most discriminating palate.
I just want apple pie. I want apple pie.
Apple pie or key lime?
Well, I've kind of OD'd on key lime recently, so I want to take a break from key lime. Key lime and I are on a little bit of a hiatus from each other at the moment.
Oh, okay.
You know, we had a little bit of a falling out after the convention because I ate a whole one.
Yeah, I had the same issue with the pumpkin pie one year.
Ew.
Remember how I said I collapsed the Tuesday after the show when I just key lime pie overdose helped. I felt very blah and logy after that.
Okay,
so.
no key lime pie then for you.
Yeah.
So the 585 Rockin' Burger Bar has an outdoor stage venue. And
Yes,
that
it
is
does.
where we will be singing cosplay karaoke and then the band.
Okay, cool.
For game nights, we will be inside in their main dining room. And if we need more room, we can go into their lower level and take
Inner
over
sanctum?
there. The inner sanctum. We might have a good name for them.
The outer ring and the inner sanctum.
It'll be a lot of fun. Just come down. You know, we'll be just playing board games and eating dinner and having a good time.
So get used to that because that's a thing. And so, as usual, now that we've talked about events, we're going to chat about wanting to be part of the FC3 Monkey Business and Mighty Monkey Corporation experience. Become a sponsor. We love sponsors. We have sponsorship levels of all kinds, and we're even willing to create custom sponsorship packets. Contact us at sponsorships@fc3roc.org. And then you can follow us on Patreon. The Patreon blog is kicking back in with contributions from producer Sherry and our buddy James Irish. And if you have something that you would like to put out in front of viewers, listeners, and readers, let us know, and you could become part of the blogging experience. www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. All membership levels will include great perks, and check out the writer's blog. You want to have your own articles? Contact us at media@fc3roc.org. Is there a place you can find your podcast, but you can't find FC3 Monkey Business? Let us know. I did try TuneIn, and it didn't work.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Look into that. It might have been something that I was doing.
Because we're on TuneIn.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. So I tried it. I went to my Alexa and I said, play FC3 Monkey Business on TuneIn. And she's like, no.
No.
Maybe she's just upset with you.
She's a little bit, she's a little more diplomatic with me than that. But basically, I can paraphrase it down to no. It didn't work out.
You made Alexa mad.
I did not make Alexa mad. Alexa loves me. I gave her things to play with.
Play horror music at 3:30 in the morning.
Sean did that to me, that bastard. All right. So we're going to jump into our question of the week. Billy!
Yes.
Question of the week.
Okay.
What are you watching, reading, or playing that is currently making your geeky little heart happy?
I'm going off the board. I'm going to go with listening.
Nice.
What am I listening to?
What are you
And
listening to?
I found a podcast called Sound Opinions. It's a music podcast. But because of that, they had a discussion about a classic album that made me revisit that said album. And at this moment, the Rolling Stones' classic double album, Exile on Main Street, is what is making my
That is a
geeky
good
little
one.
heart happy.
Very
And
nice.
2 albums of lots of songs that make me really happy and make me go, what is Mick Jagger saying right there? Because I can't understand them, but I know it's great.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Exactly. So Exile on Main Street.
Monkey Girl.
Hi.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. The thing that's making my little geeky heart happy is every Friday a webtoon. It's on the app Webtoon. This really neat witch and magic comic is coming out. It's called Muted.
Okay.
I actually pulled up the synopsis of it.
Oh, did you now?
Yes, I did. Summary, sorry. On the full moon of...
And we're out of time. Share. No, go ahead, honey.
Jerk.
Yeah, I know.
It's payback for. She's gonna get you.
Yeah, I know.
On the full moon of her 21st year, the young witch Camille, I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce her last name.
Smith.
Severin.
Severin, okay.
Severin.
Is expected to perform the traditional ritual to summon forth a winged demon for her family's success and prosperity. When the ritual goes wrong, it reveals the terrifying truths about herself and the secrets that threaten to tear her family apart. It's getting to a good part, and I'm like, I need to wait another week to find out what happens.
Well, I hope you are not dissatisfied when that occurs. I do.
Well, I mean, some of it I was like, yeah, I was kind of expecting that, but I want to see what happens next.
Anne, What is making your geeky little heart happy right now?
So it's not really geeky.
Cows?
Actually, it's a TV show on the History Channel called American Farmer.
Nice.
And it's the story of 4 American farmers and how they're surviving in this economy.
Okay.
And it's different. It's definitely different. It's a cotton farmer, a dairy farmer, a crop farmer, and a turkey farmer.
Okay.
From all over. And one of them lives in Alaska, and he is growing things in Alaska in these giant tunnels.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, he's actually doing like crops and stuff.
Oh, that's
but it's
cool.
Kind of interesting that me and my husband watch American farmers on a dairy farm.
How do you turn Alaska into farm country? Tunnels, apparently.
It's actually really cool to see, and it's a father and his 4 daughters, and they're growing enough produce to feed half of Alaska in these tunnels.
That's amazing.
Because food is so expensive in Alaska. And
so they're changing the game up there.
Yeah.
Innovation.
It is cool.
That is awesome. Andrew. What is making your geeky little heart happy?
Lots of audiobooks.
Lots of audiobooks and podcasts. Is there one in particular you're listening to right now?
Well, I'm going through a marathon. It's the first of the 3-volume biography on Churchill.
Okay.
By William Manchester.
Well, never surrender.
Yeah. Oh, actually, we haven't even gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
We're still in the 1930s. But
my favorite Churchill anecdote is the one where the woman yells at him for being drunk. And he goes, "Yes, but tomorrow, madam, I will be sober, but you will still be ugly."
Oh, I'm a big fan of, the woman who said to him, "Mr. Churchill, if I were your wife, I'd poison your tea." And he looked back and said, "If I was your husband, I would drink it." But it's a lot of fun because it's very, upper crust British accent in the way the person who's reading it, and it's just fun to make fun of.
Well, true.
Yeah. And then there's the fact that I just went to an opera, and I was lucky enough to have my own seat, so I'm just laughing at it and MSTing it all the way through, even though I enjoyed it. But I sent out a note to my friends. I'm like, it's an opera, and I see no reference to a cross-dressing rabbit anywhere. I'm very confused.
The Rabbit of Seville?
Exactly.
I love that piece to this day. Tony!
I picked up some comics when I was in Michigan visiting my girlfriend. The Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. I'm enjoying it. So.
Now, do Michigan comics, do they have a different accent than like East Coast comics?
It's all done in the style of Canada Light.
Canada Light and cheese. There's
exactly.
A lot of cheese.
Is it
no, that's
LP?
Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I don't have my regionals all correct. Yes, Tanya. What's making your geeky little heart happy, Tanya?
Well, I've been headed to the movies lately.
Mm-hmm.
So at movie weekend, Detective Pikachu on
Somebody get Gimpy up to a microphone too while we're listening to Tanya.
Detective Pikachu one day, and then I'm taking my mom to see the movie Palms.
Palms?
Yes, it's with Diane Keaton. Oh, Anne wants to go. You want to come with me? I'll buy another ticket for you. It's a cheerleading movie for...
Oh, Palms is in P-O-M.
Like pom-poms.
I was P-A-L-M-S. I thought it was like maybe
like
some like retired women are in Palm Springs or something like that.
No, so I don't know how that's going to be. But I'm kind of happy to see that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s new season started back up. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't watched any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since they introduced Ghost Rider. I have to catch up on that show.
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm hoping that it's on Hulu because I forgot to DVR it.
So yeah. Becca.
Hello.
Hi, Becca.
I'm currently knee-deep in my first D&D campaign.
Are you?
Knee-deep?
Yeah.
Are you DMing or playing?
I'm playing.
And
my DM is in Australia.
What are you playing right now?
I am playing a half-elf bard named Brightwood.
I love it.
He's at a party where no one has an intelligence above 1. What?
How do they function?
Nobody knows. We're all idiots. We burned down someone's house on accident.
Okay.
We've done that.
It was really...
I did it intentionally. I don't know what you're talking about that.
We're off trying to save the world from the man who brought us all together.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Oh, well, I want to hear about this.
Doing this on Discord, Roll20?
Discord and Roll20 at the same time.
Okay. I want to hear about your exploits.
We're currently trying to survive a swarm of bees. Brightwood is at 1 health.
I am trying to figure out, so the time difference.
Yeah. We do it Saturday nights. It's 7 o'clock for me. It's like 9 in the morning in Australia. and the rest of the players are just kind of scattered around continental U.S.
Oh, my God.
Like, you've got me in New York, there's someone in Massachusetts, someone in Florida, someone in, I think, Georgia, someone's in Tennessee.
All right, so you're East Coasting it for the most part.
Australia.
It's all Eastern.
It's all over the place.
So it's game night for you and game morning for the DM.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's what, Sunday morning?
It's a time-traveling game.
It's Sunday morning for the DM.
Yes.
Okay.
You're crossing the international date line in the process. You're time-traveling your dungeon mastery. It's awesome.
It's all
I
good
love
times.
it. I want to hear the exploits. I want to hear about the exploits.
Well, then he already knows what happens because it's tomorrow. Then.
Yes. Last night you all died. You just don't know about it yet.
Yeah, that's probably the truth we're coming up with tonight's session.
They're going to make a snap.
All right, sit down before you fall down. It's funny that you said knee deep with an ace bandage around your knee.
That's why I laughed.
There's a giggle there. Sherry,
Why do you think she said it?
Have you had your turn yet?
No.
Sherry, it's your turn.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
What's making your heart happy?
I am completely and utterly addicted to a podcast.
Which one would that be? Ours?
Called of course.
Okay.
But in addition to ours, the Wayward podcast.
Wayward? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It is Kim Rhodes and Brianna Buckmaster
from
Supernatural.
All right.
And they started it after Wayward Sisters spinoff did not get picked up.
Right. When it didn't fly, they just went ahead and started talking about it anyway.
And it's fantastic. The two of them have the best chemistry. The two of them, they talk about everything and anything. They had an entire episode about sex. They had an entire episode about self-care. They'll talk about anything, and they built a recording studio in Kim Rhodes' closet. And it's still her closet. So they're sitting there and they'll start talking about the clothes she has.
How big is the closet?
I don't know.
It's probably the same size as my room at home.
They say that they're sitting on the floor in Kim's closet.
That's amazing.
They even have guests come and sit
and hang out in the closet.
Yes, it's awesome.
Wow.
I definitely recommend the Wayward podcast.
Wayward podcast. Got
Yes.
it. Got it.
Yep.
Have we got everybody? Did we get everybody?
Just you?
Just me? Oh, okay. I recently discovered that I rediscovered the MMO Star Wars: The Old Republic. So it's free to play right now, so it's not another subscription, thank God. And I'm getting to play a Jedi again for a little while. Nice. But I don't get to play that often. And I know somebody at the table's probably wishing I came back to Warcraft to appease her of her addiction. They'll try to release her. I've been trying.
That's okay. I just need one sheet of Fellhide.
I'm working on that. I'll come back tonight and help you out with that. That's fine.
I'm gaming.
But on the rare occasion when I do actually sit down at my computer and game on it, it's been Old Republic lately. So that's been kind of a thing.
If I ever have a computer again that's capable of doing anything, I definitely want to get into some more online gaming. I haven't done it in
There's some fun stuff to be had
probably
out
a decade.
And my vast array of D&D books is like calling my name. I'm feeling that need to world build a little bit. So, all right, I think we're in pretty much good shape for this episode. We're going to move on at this stage. And that is FC3 Monkey Business. And we are tired. So, brought to you by Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con. Coming at you like a spider monkey sometime in 2020. We'll let you know when that happens. Like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and follow us wherever we go, and we will lead you to where the entertainment is. We'll catch up with you next week when we have another podcast. We're going to be assembling some Avengers. Have a great one.
Maybe some shawarma?
So, I got to have shawarma tonight.
I'm hungry.
That's a thing.
Dun, dun.